just had a message from Dawn.
Your mission, if you choose to accept, is to use one stamp set with 3 different techniques to create 3 cards.
I choose to accept. Let's go!
I plan on using today is Libby's treats from the brand new Libby's Bakery collection. Now what I thought I would do is use my 3 different techniques to build up backgrounds and then essentially make the same card each time but with different techniques. So the first technique I am doing is to do some heat embossing. Now unfortunately I have decided to go white on white, so it's not the easiest to see on screen, so we're quickly moving on to the colouring because that is when we will see it pop, or at least it's when I thought I'd see it pop. I have to say, when I started putting the yellow on I thought it was all going to go horribly wrong as it didn't really seem to show the white embossing, but watch what happens once we put the pink on. Now there we go, that's what I expected all along. So I start putting a little bit of the various colours on and that white embossed cake seems to pop through now, and this is a really fun technique. It's one that I like to do a lot, although normally I do it with watercolours as opposed to the oxides, but I love the softer feel that it gave. Just to take advantage of those oxides, I'm just spraying a little bit of water and throwing it onto the card just so that we can lift some of the colour and get some of the gorgeous mottled effect that the oxides are famous for. And that will be background number 1 all done. So the next one, I'm going to colour directly onto the stamp using my Ecoline pens. This is a technique that I like because you can get really specific with colour, but it also gives a really beautiful soft watercolour feel to it. Now I knew I didn't want the very first stamp, it would be a little bit too dark, but literally you can just keep activating it with water and keep stamping. You'll find that each stamped image that you do is slightly lighter than the previous one, but it does give a really soft effect. So at this point I'm going to just re-ink it up, so colour back onto the stamp, activate it again and keep stamping. So again I've gone with the same design that I had in the first one. I'm I'm lining up all the cupcakes into a row, that would be better English, and then just kind of making sure that the next row below it is slightly off centre as it gives it a cohesive look, and then we just keep going. Once I had done that I wanted an even softer feel, so I started spraying this with water just to allow that pigment to move even further and it to give a really loose watery effect. Finally, I'm grabbing my Ecoline pen in yellow and just adding a few yellow splatters. Basically, I wanted the blue, yellow and pink to be in all of the backgrounds. As it didn't really work with the image at this time, I decided to add the yellow as the splatters just to sort of tie all of that together. And then I decided they didn't pop enough, so I added a few pink splatters too. And I was really happy with the results of this particular background. So the final technique, I'm just doing direct stamping, but instead of going for black, I am doing various colours. So again, I'm working in rows. I'm going pink and then yellow, which you can barely see on the screen, and then blue. And again, it just filled up my page like before. I'm now putting some ink of the same colours onto my blending mat, and I'm going to pick up some of that ink and add it to the page. Now you can just use the ink that is already been stamped down because it is a water reactive ink pad, but I just knew that I would want it a little bit darker than I could get from just pulling the colour from the actual stamped image. So that's why I've taken a little bit of extra, and I'm just basically painting in the shadow areas of the cupcakes just to sort of give them a bit more body and a bit more life. This is quite an easy technique. I'm also not too concerned about staying in the lines. Again, I'm keeping it very loose, so it doesn't really matter if it goes out. You're going to get a bit of movement anyway because you're adding water to a water reactive ink pad, so it's not going to stay perfectly. If you wanted it to, you'd need to do something like Stays On and VersaFine Clear. So I just went with that look, and again adding the splatters makes that work. Once all the backgrounds were dry, I edged everything in black because it's me and I have to. I just find that it helps to frame things, and it's a look that I particularly like. So I just went ahead and did it onto all of the backgrounds. Now I'm going to stamp out the sentiment that came in the stamp set, and I'm going to make like a little banner. So I'm just cutting that down, and then I will cut round the sentiment in a long strip. I didn't really bother with the guillotine. Sometimes when I find when I'm doing a strip this narrow, I can't get the guillotine to work anyway, and if it's a little bit squint, I just think it looks like part of it. So I've stuck that down onto the card along with the gorgeous Libby, and then I'm about to stick a cupcake on as well. So I can't wait to see what Dawn has done. I think she might have gone a bit more in depth and have 3 different styles of card instead of the same one 3 times but with different techniques. I know it's fun because we both take the same brief and go in different directions. So if you want to see the direction that Dawn went into, please do pop across because she'll have done an absolutely amazing job. I also have no idea which stamp set that she's going to use either, but I'm sure it will be amazing. And I'm not going to lie, I've also done this as prep, so this is going to be one of my demos when I'm on Create and Craft on Sunday as well. But you know, you have to think smart when you're short of time. That little tinkle, that little bell in the background is my cat sleeping in the background. So sorry about that. So finally, just outlining it just to finish because that's what I do, and here they all are. So I love how they look. They're the same but different, but I think really pretty as a trio. Thank you so much for crafting with us today. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed the challenge of making 3 cards using only 1 stamp set, but trying out lots of different techniques. I hope you enjoyed it too, and maybe give some of those techniques a try. It would be so lovely if you would maybe consider liking and subscribing. We have lots more crafty goodness planned just for you. In fact, Dawn and I have got the next challenge already set up, and we're going to be mixing some of the JMC ranges with some of the shiny silver treasure ranges, and I cannot wait to see the results. If you can't wait that long, you might want to check out this video right here.